welcome to the USC Outsider podcast. I'm Rick Barbera. This is Scott Pitts.
I am.
We are not affiliated with the University of Southern California. Any opinions expressed are uniquely ours.
That's true.
So, if you have small children, send them out of the room. If you are at work, put us on headphones. Because sometimes we are not safe for work and not safe for kids, and we say what's on our mind. Right, Pitts?
Fuck yeah.
Yep, there we go. So let's talk about the USC Trojan football team for 2015, heading into Oregon week against the Oregon Ducks. We're going to play them up in Eugene this Saturday. Kickoff time is 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, the only time that matters.
Early game.
It's an early game.
I like it.
And since we've seen you, or since you've gotten the chance to listen to us last, there's been a few developments. And
we had to take some self-inflicted rehab and time off for ourselves.
Some time off
to
for
process
ourselves.
all this.
To work out what's going on with the Trojan football team, why it's going on, what we can do as alum or fans to support the kids that are playing now and the coaching staff that's playing now. How the season could possibly play out. A lot of things have been answered over the last 4 games in a positive way, thankfully.
Yeah, I think that was part of it. There was nothing that you and I could have said that wasn't being said all across the country. It was such a big story with the firing of Sark and all that stuff. So.
Well, I had nothing good to say about the leadership of the athletic department at USC. I had nothing good to say about the way that the team was shaping up during Notre Dame week to go through some kind of a lengthy dismissal of a coach during one of the biggest rivalry games of the season, one of the biggest traditional rivalry games of the university, to just then say, okay, he's fired, and leave a guy to pick up the pieces and the kids to pick up the pieces just seemed embarrassing. Yeah, I didn't want to talk about it.
5 days to prepare.
Because we didn't have anything good to. I didn't have anything good to say. I can't speak for you.
Our mothers always, or at least mine did, taught me if you don't have anything good to say about anybody, don't say anything at all. So that's kind of the route we took. I know
Sage advice.
I know the timing of the firing was not perfect for anybody. It left Clay Helton and his new staff 4.5 days to prepare for that game.
Do you know why? Do you know why he was fired? Those of you just tuning in, maybe you don't pay attention to college football because you have lives. But there's the coach for USC. Apparently was everyone's favorite affable drunk, and he coached drunk. Steve Sarkisian coached the games as drunk as I was watching them.
Allegedly.
And got away with it. And then you have a guy who gets whacked out of his mind on antidepressants and goes to an alumni function also drunk. And after that display where he does something zany, the AD decides to give him a reprieve and not say, okay, you're fired, but go into some kind of
self-treatment or
he
something?
Needs possibly treatment, maybe he doesn't, and then let that coach. It was not USC athletics and the athletic department at its finest. Sort of embarrassing and wacky, and they let the coach go during Notre Dame week. And then we go to Notre Dame. It's on the road this year. Lose by 10, astonishingly, not anymore.
But they were competitive in that game, and they looked better than they had all season long.
Had a shot to win it, too.
Yeah, big time. So things turned around from there, and it's been better, I would say, since then.
Coach
got
Clay
a scare
Helton,
in Colorado last week.
Last Friday night.
There was a couple good games in there, but when Colorado, who is getting better, and they're going to be better next year, but when they give you a scare with their second-string quarterback, I don't know. What do you say?
Who's USC? Is USC a team that comes back in the second half and wins when they're down by more than 10 points? Is USC?
Well, they have been the last 2 weeks.
And is USC a team that can make your backup quarterback look like a Heisman Trophy winner, as they did in Colorado? And I think the answer is yes.
Yes, to both of those.
That's the team. That's USC this year. It's the same team. It's the same group of guys, but making great adjustments at halftime.
Yeah, and the roster's still thin.
It's gonna be.
It's better than it has been the last 4 seasons, but the injury bug has really just wiped out USC, and it's really going to show up this week with the loss of Cameron Smith and Lamar Dawson.
And certainly
first 2 strings of middle linebackers, right where Oregon likes to run, right up the middle. So.
Very astute, Pitts. You've been practicing while you've been away.
I've had 5 weeks to figure out my gig.
Has it been 5 weeks?
I think so.
I've seen you since all this went down, but we haven't talked about it.
I haven't shaved my mustache since then.
It's all the kids are having the mustaches this time around.
Mine's a USC mustache. It's the last time I shaved it was when Sark was still on the team.
So. That makes it a USC mustache.
Yeah, it's actually a law. It's on the books.
That's what books?
Don't worry, it's just the library books.
Last Friday, USC got out of Colorado a winner, 27-24. Colorado is making great strides. That coach is doing a great job at Colorado, building them back up. The Buffaloes are probably going to be scary very soon and looked very good last Friday night. Can't say if that's because they're good or because we just went up on a road game and
well, they sure as hell gave UCLA a run for their money the week before.
I think they're becoming a good team.
And they are. But look what Wazoo did to UCLA last week, too. So who's to say that UCLA is any good? I don't know. College football is really weird all the way across the board, not just the Pac-12.
Indeed.
Lots of weird shit happening this year. Just anybody could beat anybody. It's really crazy.
So our quarterback, Cody Kessler, threw 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Let's see, what else? We had a 14-point deficit in the first half.
Ouch.
And, yeah, I don't know.
There were a lot of GDs flying out of my mouth that night.
The backup quarterback, the guy that we made for Colorado that we made look like a pro, Seifu, but I know that's their main quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah, they're back. Oh, Cade Osprey. Osby. Cade Osby. He was the one that we made look very good. He was the backup.
Well, he was good. He made a lot of nice touch passes. He was throwing the ball down the field accurately. He was going right at the guys he knew he should have.
Alex Wood kicked a 41-yarder.
Yes,
good for Alex Wood.
That was a big one. It was the difference in the game. It was the game winner.
What else?
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
Dory Jackson.
Did his thing.
Yep.
How about Juju Smith?
Juju Smith-Schuster.
5 days after surgery.
Has a bionic hand. I don't think any of his hand is actually real at this point.
Yeah,
he injured it, so it's more like Darth Vader. So we have a receiver. It's wrapped up. Yeah.
Like in a club, and he's still making
it's in a
touchdown.
cocoon. When he unwraps it, it's going to be a butterfly.
Yeah, wrap its wings around them.
And it's going to fly off to victory.
I like it.
None of that's actually going to happen.
No, it's not. It's not going to happen. Rick, the offensive line is beat to shit.
Oh, yeah. There's not much there. There's a lot of big guys.
Yep.
So our offensive line coach from last year, who's now at Michigan, obviously hasn't done anything at Michigan this year other than make them a
much better,
formidable team.
Yeah.
So no, we decided. Well, he left to go work with Harbaugh, and we get some offensive line coach who I think coached at UCLA before, Oklahoma State, and it's sort of a journeyman offensive line coach, and I guess he's done fine. I don't know if he gets retained by at the end of the year, but
what he's done with the pieces that he has, I'm gonna give that guy a high five this year because he's working with a third string center.
I'm not going to give him anything.
You might give him some like syphilis or something.
Okay.
But that's it.
I don't know why I would give him syphilis. I don't know why I would give an offensive line coach syphilis.
I do. Because you can. Anyway, yeah.
Syphilis is on the rise.
It is. It's on the rise. It's a dangerous.
Syphilis is on the rise.
Make you go blind.
It's because of that Tinder app. That's why it's on the rise. Everybody's on the Tinder.
I don't know
and they
what that is.
Swipe back and forth. And although I don't have it installed in my phone, if this were 15, 20 years ago, I would. Just Tinder somebody. And that's why syphilis is on the rise. Thank you for tuning into the USC Outsider tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Go get tested for syphilis. Next up, Don. So the injured guys. Let's see.
Which ones? Toa out for the season.
Yeah.
Listen, Vaina
Go ahead.
Tolmaiavo,
The right guard.
the right guard, he's got a torn meniscus, and he played the entire game with that last game. And they're saying that he might play again this week with it.
Yes.
It's just a.
Now the meniscus is
issue.
is the thing that hangs down in the back of your throat.
Nope. That's the uvula. They're just telling them that he's gonna. It's just a.
Coach Clay Helton advised
Shit.
that the reason that you can play with the torn meniscus is if you're able to withstand a lot of pain.
That's it.
So we may see him this week. Otherwise, look for Chris Brown to start at right guard. They do have a backup guy there, and obviously they're taking a next man up mentality, which good schools do in this case. So they're going to bring up Mr. Chris Brown. No, not the Rihanna beating Chris Brown, but another gentleman who's got the same name and who can play right guard.
You read my mind, Rick.
No problem. It's like we've been doing this for 7 years.
Yeah.
As far as the two losses at middle linebacker, yeah, Cam Smith is a big loss. He was a true freshman. He made 3 interceptions against Utah and was pretty much the reason why we walked away with the win in that game.
He's still, even being out the rest of the year, I think something like 23 tackles ahead of the next closest guy at that position. And so he's
got a great football IQ, a nose
Yeah.
for the ball, understands the concepts, and can execute. So
He
he's going to be really, really missed.
he could end up the season in the leading all stats and
Even
not playing the
though
last
he
4
stopped.
games. Yeah.
The other, his backup, who was probably going to be the starter, was Lamar Dawson, who unfortunately goes away from USC having a career riddled with injuries.
Yes.
And it's too bad because he was a talented dude. I'm not sure if he's going to play or want to play at the next level, but he goes out. Probably not going to be able to play against Oregon or UCLA or in the championship or wherever and despite our best efforts or worst efforts, USC is now in control of their own destiny due to the Arizona loss last Saturday night. Astonishingly enough, USC could go to the Pac-12 championship with a win against Oregon and a win against UCLA.
They have to win out. They control their own destiny, and when you say that, what usually happens?
What usually
in my
happens,
experience.
we're going to be beaten by Oregon by 72 points. So, do you want to talk to Peter Italian?
Sure, we can talk to
Okay, let's talk to Peter Italian.
I want to hear what he has to say about things.
Peter Italian, you are on the USC Outsider. What say you?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Just
Super.
fine. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thank you.
Good to be on. Thank you guys.
It's our pleasure. Thank you for being a part of this the last few years, and we you just caught us talking about the fact that despite USC's best or worst efforts, we are now in control of our own destiny and challenging for a Pac-12 championship berth if we beat Oregon and UCLA. What do you think the chances of us winning the next 2 games are?
We got a puncher's chance, I think. With our offense, I think we could score with anybody. It's the defense with our favorite people in charge. It's going to be tough. I think we can actually lose against Oregon as long as Utah loses and still have a shot playing UCLA head to head for it all.
I think that's correct. I think you're right about that. But I say, and I'm sure this is what the coaches are telling the kids, screw all the scenarios. Just go out and win and do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So I agree. You want to win both games, but the pressure. The season's not lost if we lose up at Austin. This is going to be a really tough task. Oregon's playing really, really well right now, but we'll see how it goes. Holmes is growing on me. I have to admit.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yep. He's
growing. You have to excuse me. There's a 2-year-old following me around the house.
Let's push it down.
do you know where it came from?
It was on the doorstep in a brown package.
With a note.
Along with a 6-year-old was with it. So
Was it now were these children that the drunk stork from the Warner Brothers cartoons left you?
No, I'm not sure where they came from. Actually, I didn't order them.
The Wonder Twins.
And if I did order them, I wanted to return them.
Now, if there was a surprise player on USC's offense or defense this year who you did not think was going to impress you so much, who would that be and why?
I would take Justin Davis. He's playing lights out. He's playing hard too. I always thought Justin Davis kind of just went through the motions. He kind of just was out there. He just kind of just to be out there. But man, he was really running hard against Colorado and Cal and Arizona State. He was really, really putting it out there.
He's starting to
really surprised me.
Yeah, he's starting to read his gaps better too, and he's really when he does come into contact, he's putting his head down and driving that tackler back an extra 2 yards.
Actually, to be honest, I didn't think he was that kind of guy.
I didn't either.
I thought he was just kind of like a outside guy. Didn't want to, some contact. But man, he can put his head down and lower his pads and get in it.
That's it.
It's pretty good. I'm impressed by him.
Now, has there been anything that you've noticed from watching the games and the play of the offensive or defensive line, the offensive front or the defensive front, since the departure of the affable drunk? Have there been any, big noticeable changes that you've seen in terms of gameplay or adjustments?
Well, I really like the way the offensive line's playing. The defensive line just makes me scratch my head. I guess they're trying and they're playing hard, but it seems every time we rush the passer, we run into each other. But the offensive line's playing really well. I actually like when they play the kid from Loyola, the guard. I just lost his name. Number 77, I think his number is. I just completely blanked on his name. I like when they play him over Mama, because Mama, he's a little slow.
That's not Talamayavo, is it?
Is it Talamayavo? Or no, another guy?
No, the kid from Loyola, he's an offensive guard. I think he's really good.
Okay.
Loyola High School. He's impressive. Tuma from Georgia on the tackles played really well. I think he's like an athletic upgrade over Banner, who's a good player. I think in the long run, Tuma's just a better player.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's going to be a better player. They're playing. They're coming together. And to be honest, and I don't want to be a hater, but I couldn't stand Max Turek at center. I think he's a terrific tackle, but at center, I think he was just wasting his time.
Okay.
He was playing out of position. So.
Well, the third string kid's he's worked out. He's been doing a bang up job. Yep.
Khalil Rogers.
That's right.
Yeah. And his teammate from high school is Kenny Bigelow.
Sure.
He's come on.
Yeah.
Bigelow has come on big time, and I actually would like to see him play more.
The guard you're talking about is Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, yeah.
We mentioned him.
Yeah, and we're going to see a lot of him this week because
how could we forget that name, Peter? How could we forget that particular name?
True, very true. Very true.
We actually talked about that.
I actually work with Chris Brown at my current job too. They're all over the place.
They're everywhere. It's a very popular name in the late 70s,
well,
early 80s.
You be careful. Don't taunt him. Don't make fun of his high voice. Just let him do his thing, and let him drive drunk.
I will say, I think Antoine Woods will die of a heart attack this weekend or in the third quarter.
Oh my God!
because that up-tempo offense, and he just looks like he's a heart attack waiting to happen.
Either that, or it'll get his motor humming, and he'll keep chugging.
We're gonna be pushed.
Yeah. So, actually, if we can win third downs against Oregon, I think we'll have a good chance.
Agreed.
And Kessler, not the biggest Cody Kessler fan in the world, but
no,
we came with him, got to dance with him.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what he can do.
That's been the knock on Kessler, I think, is that he hasn't really had a signature game, like a big game win
against a quality opponent.
And maybe this last 2 weeks, possibly 3 weeks, this stretch is his turn to define himself as one of those guys, but that remains to be seen.
I just can't get over the fact that he looks like Balky from Perfect Strangers.
He looks like a Balky with a rounder face.
Yeah.
Bronson Pinchot,
that's right.
circa 1986.
Yeah, from Fresno. A Balky from Fresno.
A Balky from Fresno, circa 1986. Balky, Bronson Pinchot still stole the movie from Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop, the first one, as Surge. That he's the only guy I've ever seen do that to Eddie Murphy. Just take the scene away.
Yeah, that's true. He was the art dealer, right? Or the guy just at the desk?
I don't even think he was a dealer. I think he was an assistant. I think Surge was an assistant.
He was very good in True Romance as well.
Oh yeah, he was good. Yeah, you want me to suck his dick?
Yeah. What? You want me to? Yeah.
He was good in that. So provided the Balky, Fresno Balky does it. All he has to do is manage the game and take care of it.
Well, that's it. The short passes underneath. He's great at that. Get rid of the ball. Don't make big turnovers. Manage the game. That's it for him.
And if Helton can call a game like he called the second half against Colorado,
yeah,
I think we'll be in good shape. If he calls a first half Arizona game or a first half Colorado game, then it's going to be a long afternoon in Austin, I think.
Yeah, you're not going to make up 14 points against the Ducks at home in the second half.
I really like. I just like the way he called plays in the second half. The tight end screen to the T, which is that's something you'd see from Chow.
Yeah, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
The practice reports this week had a lot of tight end plays going, and the kid was lighting it up in practice, I guess, this week.
Yeah,
so.
we need to rediscover the tight end in our offense, and it couldn't come at a better time.
Yeah.
And
So
we need Odori to be Odori. Just get back out of the ball and just get out of the way, and just hope he doesn't make stupid decisions.
So now on the defensive side of the ball, we lost two guys, Cam Smith and Lamar Dawson. So in the next man up attitude that Coach Helton has, he's got Anthony Sarro, China Nuoso, Osa Messina, and Michael Hutchings. Which of those, and of course Buddha. So which of those five guys do you consider the big two who should start and really have a chance of filling in the blanks for the loss of those two?
Well, it's definitely not going to be Sarro. Sarro is useless to me.
Okay.
Probably Hutchings. I like Hutchings. I think he should play more. He's fast. He's big. He's athletic. Seems to hit pretty hard too. Smart kid. He's from like a really good high school. And then maybe that kid. What's his name? 42.
Is that Osa?
There's China. And I think they call him China or China Nuoso.
The hood rat over there. He is good. I actually like him. He's fast. He hits hard too.
I do like that he wears Ronnie Lott's number.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
I'm wondering, is Quentin Powell still on the team? Did that guy disappear or something?
I thought he got injured. I thought
okay.
I did think. I think he got hurt or drunk. Maybe he got extremely drunk and drove his car down La Cienega Boulevard and flipped it.
I don't think that's true.
Is he Shark sponsor?
Yeah,
He might be his sponsor.
He might be. Everybody's been talking, and Peter, you can sign off on this one or not, but I think everybody's been talking about how these poor kids are going to deal with their coach, who got, who was obviously an addict in one way, shape, or form, who needed help and is now getting the help. And what are these kids going to do? I remember when I was a sophomore in high school, my English teacher, who everybody loved when I was a sophomore, banged a recent graduate from the high school. She had turned 18, and he banged her at a graduation party, and he was supposed to be the AP English teacher the next year, and everybody was excited about having him as the AP English teacher. And everyone thought, what are these kids going to do when they get into AP? They expect to have this great teacher who they love their sophomore year, and now he's going to be the AP English teacher. He's guiding them towards something. He's an excellent teacher, but he banged this this chick, and I think we were like, oh, we'll be fine. We do like him. He was a good guy, and we certainly had fun in class. We respect him that he banged one of the hotter seniors, who graduated and is going into college. But as kids, we'll actually be okay. Do you think that's the same thing with the USC team in Sark?
I would think so, except I don't know if Hayden's son will be they'll let him, be the guy that the guys want. I think they'd rather have the girl that Dixon the trainer that Bryce Dixon.
Oh, Jesus.
Sure,
I'd rather have her. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, having to work with those guys when I was a trainer, or not trainer, but a manager,
Okay.
those guys, they're automatons. You just tell them where to go, they go. They're not selfish guys, and they're not stupid guys, but they kind of just are off in their own little planet. And really it's about the guy that's next to them rather than the coach.
Sure.
A lot of the times, because a lot of times they hate their coaches, and I know that from experience. When Hackett was there, and when Phil Berry, the offensive line coach, was there, no one could stand that guy. And
Nobody liked Paul Hackett. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. So like they'll band together, and they'll accept whoever they bring in. Luckily for us, UCLA is kind of a unifying game for everybody. So
That's
I
a
think
good point.
they'll have a common purpose. But
Well,
I just hope they bring in somebody, an adult, and I think Helton's an adult. If they can get somebody that's really good and an adult, I think they'll home run.
well, we'll find out.
Yeah, that could be. Now, are there any final thoughts you want to add to this week? We're not sure when the next Outsider is going to be, and we certainly appreciate you calling in through the years, Peter, and your insights and the fact that you were involved with the team and have sort of an insider's view on how the team functions, how it works, and even how these guys can kind of think until we meet again. But is there anything like for now that you want to get out there and say regarding the end of this season, or just get off your chest?
First, I love you guys despite what everyone says about you.
Oh, thank you.
You guys don't listen to the naysayers. You guys are still the best. As far as off my chest, when we beat the Bruins and we just destroy Schnozen, and we more of that soulless prick who can beat their asses, I think we'll be in good shape.
Agreed.
He's a soulless person, by the way. He is the devil reincarnated.
Did you see him screaming at the refs last week, crying like a little bitch?
I like that he was celebrating, and then when they scored that touchdown, he was just crestfallen.
I loved it too.
And then he got upset. He blamed the sun.
Yep. And then his own players were fighting amongst themselves. I read today also that there's a linebacker, I can't remember his name, and also little Jerry Neuheisel will not be returning for their senior seasons next year.
Because he's a bastard over science.
That's right.
He's as bad as any SEC coach.
That's right.
He's a soulless prick.
Yeah, he's not good. Peter, real quick, before you go, we've talked about Helton, and if he stays, I think the consensus is we all might be okay with that, seeing what he does in the next 2 to 3 games. Say it's not Helton. Who do you like?
God, that's tough because there's so many people that potentially could be out there, I mean, I just read the other day Les Miles might be in the hot seat.
Let's say just dream scenario.
That'd be embarrassing.
That would be.
I don't want him.
I'd actually like Harbaugh from the Ravens if they
John
get him.
If he do it, I would like
John
that too.
Harbaugh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
the nice one.
He's not afraid to let a stabbing murderer play for him as a linebacker. Scrooge McStab. He's not scared to have Scrooge McStab play for him.
And they need somebody. Let's say Hayden is still there. Someone to stand up to Hayden. I mean,
Okay.
That's really what you need. If he's not there, and if I could have anybody I wanted, I'm not a big Chip Kelly fan like a lot of people are, so I wouldn't
me
say
either.
that. I would probably say Les Miles. God, I mean, if he's available, Bob Stoops too, maybe, because those guys can recruit. And to be honest, their players look like they love playing for him.
Sure.
Which is like a really big thing. And they take chances. I think Sark is too much of like a he was just a douchebag, but he's just too much of a kind of a yes man almost.
Yeah.
You know.
I got that sense as well.
I'd be fine with helping if they just got new offensive line and defensive line coaches.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Maybe a defensive coordinator too.
Yeah. Get rid of Will Kunt. So.
Well,
I have noticed that
he's blitzed more though.
Yeah, the defensive has become a little more aggressive.
He gave Gary Klein a pretty good, humble interview in the LA Times, and it's hard for me to defend millionaires and everything, but he gave a good, honest interview, more deflecting any kind of focus. The fact that he was going back to play for his alma mater or play against his alma mater, Oregon, or his dad's alma mater, and anything like that. He just said, it's not about an assistant coach. It's about these kids, and gave a decent one. And, he's been blitzing more, and I have to think maybe it's because he's not having a bunch of guys on the defense taking 834 snaps in a row without being substitutes. He's finally getting a chance to implement his defense. Now, I'm not saying that warrants another season if they blow it against Oregon and UCLA, but I've softened my stance a bit on Wilcox.
I would say quite a bit, Rick.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's disappointing.
Well, I have not really softened. I mean, what I'm going to end with tonight, after...
To me, he's a 30, what is he, 38, 39?
Yeah.
He's a 39-year-old Monty Kiffin. When Monty Kiffin was 75.
Oh, I see. It's like a time warp, like Tesseract sort of.
He's like Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo when it's basically we're going to stay in our zone and we're just going to let everyone just march down the field and then we're going to try to stop them on the 1 yard line.
I can't stand
Hopefully
that.
for no one, guys, we can stop them. So that's really what that defense turned out to be.
Yep.
I think he actually was calling the game from Tampa. I don't think he was even in Los Angeles or in the box. I think he was in Tampa.
He was actually. Huh. We should all be so lucky.
Right?
Yeah. I will say that this weekend we'll have probably the best looking cheerleaders in Oregon and of course the Kappa Gammas at USC.
No doubt at all. Yep. Happy. Cannot wait to watch that game for that. They're just gorgeous ladies.
Rick's favorite part.
Some sort of cataclysm can hit Rice Eccles Stadium and the UCLA Utah game, it'd be nice to see like locusts or something biblical being in this Mormon country. Maybe a spaceship comes down.
Yep.
Yeah.
That could happen.
Absolutely a spaceship. Yeah. And
Could happen.
Everyone gets their own planet at the end of the game.
Yep. That's it.
so we can only watch and see. And we can only watch and see and pray, I guess.
What time's that game?
I don't know. Peter, do you know what time that game is?
I think they're going off at the same time.
Oh, 12:30
of course.
p.m. Pacific time, the only time that matters. I don't know what Mountain Time is. That's actually 3:35 Mountain Time.
Yeah. Well, we can thank the coke addict Larry Scott for this. So.
Yeah, the women's tennis coach Larry Scott, the coke addict Larry Scott.
The coke addict TV executive.
They
Can't
do.
ever trust the TV executive.
Just confirm they do kick off at the exact same time on Fox.
Good call, Peter. Nice work. Different station. Very good.
We're on ESPN.
Right. Yeah, ESPN or is it the Big 7?
ESPN.
Is it or will it be ABC? What are they saying? Pitts, anything?
Mine says ESPN.
Well, I guess for those of you playing along at home, use your brains and decide if it's going to be ABC or ESPN, or go to a bar and you won't have to worry about it.
That's right.
Just have a good time. Peter, thank you so much for calling in. I will check in with you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you, Peter Italian. Have a good night and fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on.
Later, guys.
Bye. Always a pleasure when that dude calls in.
Yeah, I like. He's always got.
He's got some opinions that may not necessarily be shared by Scott Pitts and Rick Barbera, but then again, they might. They might be shared by us, and you don't know. So, are you ready to hear my final thoughts about Pat Hayden, our AD?
Yes, I'm
We can talk about the game
scared.
still, but
I'm
I just
scared a
want
little bit.
I prepared these.
okay. Rick,
My final opinions on Pat Hayden. He was and is going to be a forgettable administrator who possessed more personality than Mike Garrett, but didn't have as much luck hiring a decent football coach. 15 years ago, Mike Garrett wanted to pursue in-conference coaches with Dennis Erickson, then at Oregon State, and Mike Bellotti, then at Oregon, then Mike Riley with the Chargers, who all said no before Pete Carroll walked into his life. Mike Garrett had a poor way of firing coaches via an answering machine, and Pat Hayden didn't help his case with the LAX incident with Lane Kiffin midway through the season, or the protracted warning pseudo-intervention and termination of Sarkisian. There is a quote in Pete's Over, How USC's Hopes of Recapturing Glory Failed the Trojans, an article written by Tom Friend from ESPN on October 30th. Quote, the people making the most noise about Pat are the ones that are outside the university. These are remarks from Sports Information Director Tim Tessalone. The $100 donors, not the $1 million donors. Obviously, the $100 donors are the ones who spend all day on the message boards and talk radio and create all the noise. The people that matter the most, the school president, I think Pat knows where he stands with those guys. Now, Tim Tessalone is protecting someone he works with, but it's an insult, I think, to the fan base that could be tied to his bonuses or job security. USC does not do itself any favors telling the press it only pays attention to multi-millionaire donors. And I'm not saying you have to follow the advice of the blue-collar worker with 3 kids in daycare who just had to take a weekend job and may not ever be able to send his kids to USC. But if this person is taking time out of their existence to cheer for the Cardinal and Gold and send a passionate post to uscfootball.com or Conquest Chronicles, just humor them, especially in the press. And say you'll listen, Tim. Say at least you'll give them an ear. And don't just diminish the fact that they aren't $1 million donors. And I think that's when you start to tell the fan base, you don't care, you're out of touch. And then you lose butts in seats, which then means that your job is on the line. And then you go looking for a coach and find someone who either can hire that coach and take the responsibility to make a good hire while you're watching, collecting unemployment, or, you're out on your ass and then the whole thing starts again. Pat Hayden's last chance at luck, his ace in the hole, may be Clay Helton. A hire that Pat had nothing to do with, but should Clay beat Oregon and beat UCLA, and Hayden anoints him, it will appear as the best hiring of a football coach in recent USC memory.
How do you really feel, Rick, about things?
And that was it. That was my take on Hayden. He's got an opportunity to really salvage his whole legacy. But he's sort of riding now, unfortunately, on the fact that Helton has to win these 2 games. And I think if he doesn't, and Hayden just automatically immediately pulls the trigger and says, you're USC's next coach, he salvages himself. If he sort of hesitates like he did with Lane and fired him in the middle of the season, hesitates like he did with Sark and say, we'll just see how it goes for the next few months to see if he can get his act straight, he's lost. And then he really didn't do anything for the football program.
Sure, I think you're right.
Anyway, that's
Rick,
my opinions on Pat Hayden. Thank you, good night.
I'm impressed, Rick. I thought that was going to be a lot of man-bashing and slurs in there, but that was a well-thought and well-prepared, tasteful
Thanks,
rant,
Fitz.
and I
Cheers.
appreciate that. So we need to do a fart joke or something.
I've got a boner right now.
Well, there you go. There has some dick jokes coming up
Gonna
close second.
stir my drink with it.
Awesome. Well, I don't have a prediction for this week because I think that we could get rolled.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think we could win this game. I think we could lose a nail biter. I think we could win a nail biter. I
guess
don't
we
know.
could talk about the studs for Oregon.
Yeah, they got
Mark
a lot.
Helfrich is their coach. He's a young guy. Scott Frost, who I loved watching as quarterback for
Ducky
Nebraska.
Jeff does not like, and most of the Oregon faithful do not like that guy. They want him gone. I guess his head's on a plate right now.
The offensive guy gone? Who's
guess.
they're rolling up? Okay. It seems to me like they're running Chip Kelly's offense very respectfully, but all right, guys. I'm not going to argue.
Going with what I was told.
Okay.
Jeff was supposed to be here tonight. He couldn't make it out, but that would have been a fun.
Oh, wait, they want Helfrich gone or Scott Frost
Scott
gone?
Frost.
Oh. I don't get that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so wait, we were talking about what, Vernon Adams?
Yep.
Vernon Adams.
Had a slow start to his year, and he's
Riley, who was their running back, I think, right? Their main running back is Riley.
Royce Freeman.
I'm sorry, Rolls-Royce.
Rolls-Royce Freeman.
Yeah. Hurd on the defensive side of the ball. Again, it's not a joke. We're going up to Outson. That place is insane.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with this game.
Unfortunately, USC's catching Oregon in the time of the year when
We're both rolling.
they're playing good. They're playing real good football, and this isn't the Oregon from September and early October. So unfortunately for USC, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm not going to make a bet against anybody, but
No.
I don't know what's going to happen to this game
We did make a bet against
and it helped.
It worked.
I was in Vegas and I bet that USC would not cover the spread against Utah. And
I said I'll get in on that.
We lost $40 total, but
the best
we ended
$20 I ever spent.
I was fine with it. Actually, it was great.
Just for the record, we didn't bet for USC to lose the game. We
No.
just bet for them not to
cover
the spread.
Not to cover. That was a big difference. And the guy knew, and I told the man at the sports book at God, where was it? It was in Summerlin, and I went to is it the Four Seasons Hotel? I don't know. It was a big one. It was a nice one.
Is it
I don't
Caesars?
know if it was. No, it wasn't. No, this was in Summerlin, so it was away from the Strip.
Okay.
And it was nice. No, it was a Marriott. Well, at any rate,
Doesn't matter.
I said, I'm not betting for USC to lose. I just don't think they'll cover. I don't think they're going to cover, and they did not. And we won the game.
Yep. We also made another bet, didn't we? Did you make that bet for us?
No.
Shit.
We made another bet, and
We
truth be
parlayed
told,
that.
I am still wearing the condom.
That's not the one I'm talking about.
Oh, which one are you talking
the
about?
UCLA game. Did you do that?
I didn't bet on it. No.
I owe you $20 too, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, because or did I PayPal you?
I don't. You don't have to pay me on camera or on the radio.
just while I'm
How do I know you're not just giving me a $1 bill? For those of you listening at home, this could. Hey, I'm giving you $100. That was $100 bill. Yeah, that's $100 bill there.
Look into the camera, Rick.
Thanks. I'm just gonna roll it up and do cocaine off your ass.
Good. Why do you think I gave it to you?
We haven't made any jokes about child molesters.
Well,
I guess we can.
there you go. You just did.
Has anyone made a good Jared joke, David, yet?
From Subway?
I was
Yeah.
talking about oil and vinegar a lot.
Oil and vinegar.
There's got to be
You want oil and
some
vinegar
kind of a
with your
sandwich
An
artist
old lettuce.
play on
How do you take it, Jared?
weird colored meat.
Something smells like old salami.
$5. Yeah, there's got to be a joke.
Yeah,
There
we'll
has
find
to be
it. We'll find it.
White or wheat?
Yeah.
Italian.
Nah. Okay. Well, that being said,
He got everything that he deserved.
yes, and more. Okay, Rick, that's about all I got. What do you got? You got anything else?
Trying to think what else I want to get off my chest. There's just
That staph infection?
I heard a night. Yeah, well, I'm taking antibiotics for that.
Good.
The
The Lamar Odom?
Yeah.
I watched an interview on the
That's
Jeez.
what's going on.
There's our-
Lamar Odom,
I mean, no,
Jared from
Chloe.
Subway, and
Wait, are you bringing up staph infection just randomly?
Yeah.
Oh, because Khloe Kardashian has a staph infection that she got
Oh.
after
At the
Lamar
hospital?
Odom-
That
from
makes
the
sense.
hospital.
that because of the hospital stuff,
Yeah,
like the
it's called
MRSA.
Yodas.
There's so many weird.
There's so many
things
weird
that you
bugs
can-
at the hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and at daycare.
Yep.
You'd be surprised.
And it's water parks.
What
For
oh,
sure.
I can't.
And at bathhouses.
And
I've heard.
Where the 210 meets a 10 in San
Secret
Diego.
bathhouse. What's that called? Splash
Ra-
Waterfalls.
Raging
Raging
Waters.
Or Waterloo in
Oh,
in
and Bill and Ted's.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember that reference.
Waterloo!
We had Magic Waters, I think, in the Midwest. There was
yeah.
Magic Waters, and Noah's Ark, of course.
Oh, the
Noah's
biblical
Ark.
themed
Yeah,
water
they had
park. Good.
I don't.
Is that
Even,
real?
Noah's Ark was yeah, I think it's still there, but it had
a shitty name.
There's nothing. I don't remember one vaguely Bible statue or take on biblical references. It was just there's a ton of water, and it was in the middle of Wisconsin.
Dead
and you could go
animals.
there, and there were a lot of dead animals. That's
ones that didn't make
that's a
cut.
game in southern Wisconsin. It's like they would put dead animals along the park so you would know where you were going. Like they'd say, okay, this one is like this one is a level 5, so it'd be a level 5 danger, and you had to follow the dead badgers all the way to the entrance to the slide.
This is going off the
It
rails.
was in the 80s, so they could do that then.
That's true.
They could.
None of that's true.
You're right. It wasn't they wouldn't do a dead badger. They did
That was
dead
That
wolverines.
was a
Or
USC
gophers.
A's-
They would do dead gophers and put them in like crucifixes. At any rate,
The University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux hockey team used to throw dead gophers on the ice when they played the Minnesota Gophers. That's true.
So they're still the Fighting Sioux. I thought they had to change.
They do, and it looks like they're becoming the Fighting Hawks, which is stupid.
That's lame.
Yeah. That's a shame. Anyway, Rick, it's been a pleasure seeing you again.
You too. We'll do it again soon. This is not goodbye. It's so long for a minute,
Yep.
and we'll be back.
And we will be back
At some point.
And you're going to be my neighbor soon, so I'm going to see more of you.
Yeah, that's changes are afoot. I'm becoming a woman, and
transitioning.
because I'm becoming a woman, I will be walking a lot more, and then I'll be your neighbor.
That's right.
Yeah, I love you. Fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on.